Okay, mic check, mic check. Should be able to see here. Welcome, welcome, Mr. Blue here. As I'm setting this up, which is annoying. Today's date, Tuesday, March 18th. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend, having a good week, important week. This week I'll discuss a couple things here. Mr. Blue, TradePhantoms.com. With the worst orientation on the planet here. All right, go spend about an hour, give or take. I'll go through some morning prep. What's going on, Jace? That's funny. SPX Lord, man, I'm so focused on the SPX. It's all I care about these days. All right, big week today. I'm not today, but big week this week, right? All right, this is ghetto. I apologize for this, but okay, Mr. Blue here, right? So today's Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. Just a quick look at the calendar for today. Being said, Tuesday, if you can kind of make this out here for the U.S., not really quite much today in terms of economic news coming out. Now, of course, we've been having other news. News can come across the board these days with this. With the new regime and presidents in the U.S. and all that kind of stuff, right? So, just be aware of that. Also, super noteworthy today. We talked about this yesterday in one of the Phantoms sessions that we have here. I'm not sure if y'all can see that, but we have, man, this is just too bad. I'm just not zooming. We have VIX options expirations expiring today. Tomorrow, of course, we have Fed Day, okay? In the U.S., there's a couple of other banks that are reporting as well, or central banks that are reporting as well across the pond, right? And also on Friday, we have a big expiration. We have what's called triple witching. And what that means really quick is we have like three witches in a way, right? Number one being the monthly expiration for stocks. Number two, we have index options expiring. And we also, for the month, and we also have index futures, S&P, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, and Russell 2000 futures expiring as well at the end of the quarter, okay? That's happening this Friday, so that can provide some volatility. It also provides, it's beyond the scope right now for today. We spoke about it yesterday in the live trade room, but it also provides an unwind of liquidity based on market maker hedge flows. So, that's well beyond the scope for right now this morning, but we spoke about that yesterday, right? Another noteworthy notation here is a close eye on the March 31st date, which is the end of the quarterly expiration for options. Okay, so that's another big one there. We have what's called this JP Morgan collar trade, which is put on every single quarter. So they're going to be rolling out of that, all right, with a special emphasis on the 56.55 SPX level or handle. 56.55, might want to write that down. All right, if you're new to the channel, so on and so forth. And I apologize, man. I got to get over this. I only do YouTube for like about an hour, but I got to get this on a proper stream. But I get just so much other things that I'm working on that are a lot. Well, I digress, right? So SPX 56.55. Also, we have that April 2nd, quote unquote, tariff day, if you will, whatever you want to label that as. So we'll see, of course, the tariff, as they're labeling it, the tariff war continues to to kind of grind out and iron out kind of what's going to happen, right? Still uncertain, right? Biggest word, I think the biggest word that's been used for the past, I'd say month and a half, month and a half, is uncertainty, 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 right? So almost kind of sick of hearing that, but it's true. It's true. All right. Where is my famous document here? Restarted my computer yesterday just to give it some fresh legs. Monthly, weekly, daily, super important. Top-down approach, orange, yellow, blue. This is going to be important when I go through the process here. Anything that you see in orange has to do with the monthly time frame. Yellow is associated with the weekly. Daily color code is blue. Kind of quick little checklist here. Bullish candlesticks, location being most important. Bearish candlesticks, location being most important. And then the liquidity map, which is super awesome. And this is spoken about widely in the rooms we have at Phantoms. All right, I'll just park that there for a moment. Let's get to the charts. I'll start out with futures. And the major 4 indexes, by the way, futures have rolled over. So make sure you are in the next contract, which is like, for example, I'll just use S&P as an example. You should roll over into the ES or the micro ES if you're trading micros, MES or ES. M, which is June's expiration, 2025. Okay, so it'll look like ESM 2025. Speaking of the S&P futures, upper left, daily time frame here. NASDAQ upper right, Dow Jones lower left, Russell 2000 bottom right. I'll just pop up in this daily time frame of the S&P. You can see there's a gap up here, right here, and that's due to the rollover. So there's, if you can make out this here, there's a green line across here. This is Thinkorswim platform, and they just put a kind of a vertical line here to represent the rollover. Okay, so volume has officially rolled over into the next one, and this is expiring. Okay, if you are still trading the March contract, it is expiring literally this Friday. So it behooves you to roll over into that June contract as mentioned. Okay, so we'll map out the levels on the Globex traps. All right, and just if I just go to kind of start like kind of front and center here. Here's futures. Daily time frame of the S&P, and we're slightly down right now, 0.32%. Okay, we've had a bit of a little relief rally here, not getting too excited about this. All right, we had a talk about this yesterday with a couple of hours in the room as mentioned. Okay, but yes, we had a nice move down. S&P's down 10%. Everybody probably knows that by now. Okay, the question is this little bounce here going to provide a bit more of a further, I would say, bounce higher, mean reversion up? Or is this just kind of what you would call a kind of maybe a little baby dead cat bounce? Okay, and could we potentially retest the lows and make a potential new low? Okay, we'll see. This week is super intense regarding things previously mentioned, right? Fed, OPEC's options expiration, and futures rollover. So there's a lot of things that could help provide movement in this market. So we'll see, right? VIX is kind of dropping down. We'll get to the VIX in a moment, okay? But as you can see, we have a couple levels up here. We have some daily levels up here, daily highs. Okay, got some Globex traps. Got that 20-period moving average just as a reference, right? Just as a reference, we are trading below that. Okay, we can see, you can use it as, you can see there's a couple of levels here in pink. I'll map out, I'll give you the price, 57.70, 57.90, 58.05. A couple of daily highs up here, and there's supply up here, right? And I have an emphasis on the 58.55 price handle on the S&P futures due to the fact that it was once a weekly level of demand that was working and was holding the market up pretty well, okay, for, I'd say, for the January and February, okay, then we broke that, right? And so what was once demand is now supply on the other side. So 58.55 is something on my radar that I'm extremely aware of for it to come back and to potentially mean revert. Good time to potentially take profits on longs and then maybe look at potentially some shorting opportunity as well. Okay, I have a note up here as well, 59.50. 59.50, that would also be the case up here, okay, for a nice little, if you are bearish or short the market, you kind of want this to rally a little bit more up into a bit more a mid-mean reversion to potentially work on a little bit more of a swing kind of short, okay, if you're bearish in this market. For some folks, don't get me wrong, this little rally up here could be enough. We could be dropping back down here today. We'll see, right? Fang, the Magnificent Seven has been a little heavy. Yesterday we had a little nice close yesterday. Right, we'll get down to the smaller time frames. We had a nice close yesterday regarding Fang, decent. Okay, in the S&Ps and Qs and Nasdaq and S&P and Dow Jones, they were up yesterday, right? So, we'll see, right? So just map out yesterday's high, yesterday's low as well. In addition to this, Nasdaq, I can pretty much say the same thing. Okay, now we got long Qs down in here on this swing level down in here. Okay, nice little bounce up here. I was mentioning to some folks, maybe you could take a little bit of some profit on those long Qs. Okay, we had some spies as well, and then we have sold spies. But just for right now, this is Nasdaq futures. And, same thing, we have some levels up here above, okay, with a high emphasis on the 21,000 in the NASDAQ in the event that we do, rally back up a bit more deeper into a mean reversion to the upside, all right, but with an eye on no matter what, this market could make easily, okay, equal to or new low, okay. We'll get to the smaller time frames in a moment, and we'll have, when the market's open, we'll go to SPYs and Qs and SPX as well. Dow Jones, Russell 2000. I'll save a little time there. Small caps pretty tricky right now, and then Dow Jones. Good. It's a good index. Don't get me wrong, but 30 stocks. I prefer the S&P. It's a little bit more of a better gauge on overall markets. Okay. Just switch over to just to give you the lay of the land. Okay, got the monthly time frame here on the left, weekly in the middle, daily in the right. So monthly, weekly, daily, super important there. All right. Switch over to the S&P futures. We'll map out our Globex traps. And just to give you the lay of the land for the smaller intermediate time frames here, 60-minute time frame upper left, 30-minute time frame bottom left, and followed by the 5-minute in the middle here, and then the 2-minute on the right, and popping open in the 60-minute time frame 1 hour, the S&P futures. All right, you can see we had new lows, lower low, lower high, and then we got this nice little relief rally here, right? Markets up about what 2.5%, give or take, sub off those lows here. All right, and one of the things that we want to do is mapping out our Globex highs and Globex lows. Globex is a fancy word for overnight session. Zooming in so y'all can see a bit better. Gray space and Thinkorswim here represents that overnight session. And so far, this is the Globex low represented by that blue line here, 5704, Globex high here, 5737, okay? And we want to look for an institutional level of demand below the Globex low and an institutional level of supply above the Globex high. Okay, so I had a couple levels pinned here, as mentioned, 5770, okay, and 5805. Okay, I'll just clean that up a little bit. Okay, these two levels up here could be used for what's called a Globex trap short. So if you are long, or if you are long, you could TP up here and potentially sell short to enter. Okay, 5770, and then we have 5805. Okay, same thing there. If this level happens to break, which is not the greatest level in the world, but it's fairly fresh, hasn't been there just yet. Okay, or prime, I should say. Could potentially have a reaction off of that, 5805. And yes, indeed, if we do get up into the 5855, that yellow line up there, which might be a little bit more visible, that's definitely an area where you would definitely take profits on longs if long, okay? If happen to be long, if we get up there, and an area where we, as mentioned, could potentially look to sell short to enter, right? 58, 55, okay? Now, Globex trap long. If I look down and left, we have a couple of demand zones left just from yesterday's kind of rally here, right? So these are definitely noteworthy. Want to be a little careful with these here, but if I were to map this out, I would say 5680, okay? I'm going to put an aggressive notation on this. All right, what I'm looking at is this demand zone here. A little bit of a rally base and a rally IBI, all right? As you can see, futures are kind of breaking down already. Matter of fact, futures have negative COG that just printed right now, coming into this level, but this level is not the freshest level, so we could, futures are giving, coming down a little bit here, right, off this basing here. So we'll see. We have this demand zone here, as mentioned, 5680. So, I just want to map that out. That's something that would have to be dealt with in the event that we do come down. All right. So I'm going to put an aggressive notation on this. Aggressive. G-trap long. And that comes in at 56.80, right? And then I would also map out, I'd say, the 56.25 handle on the S&P futures. Now I'm still going to keep the 56.25 down here. I'm still going to keep this aggressive notation on this level here as well, in addition to this, due to if this market does pick up, if VIX starts to spike and this market does start to pick up in some selling pressure. Right now, FANG is really heavy right now, meaning that we're gonna get to that because we got all FANG stocks gapping down on Apple, Amazon, AVGO, Broadcom, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia, Tesla getting smoked. Okay, so FANG's really heavy now. Yesterday, real quick, as a small little rabbit hole, most of the sectors were green yesterday. Most of the sectors were nice. You know, all the 11 sectors for the most part put in a decent little day to the upside. Okay, so everything other than the FANG, the Magnificent Seven, the stocks that I just labeled, everybody should know what the Magnificent Seven is by this date, right? By this day and age. What was Magnificent Seven was a little heavy yesterday in the morning, and then was kind of dragging the market down, and everything else was up. 90% of stocks were up yesterday, and then once late day FANG kind of kicked in a little bit of some gear there, found a little bit of a bid. The market kind of did a little gamma squeeze late afternoon. Picked up some options that was pretty nice. Didn't do a lot of size on it, but you had a nice little trade late day. The point that I'm trying to make is that FANG's heavy. Now, if all the other sectors, I know I kind of rabbit holed there, but I'm making a note here is why is this level here 56.80 and 56.25 in the S&P futures demand zone in the event that we do get there. Why did I put an aggressive notation there? Is because if all the other sectors don't, if all the other sectors and if the market, if all the other stocks and sectors kind of come down or go down today, with the FANG market being with the FANG stocks being very heavy, we could potentially see some selling pressure coming back into the marketplace. Bitcoin down about 2% here, a little dead cat bounce here as well. Okay, get the weekly time frame on the left. I get the daily time frame here on the right, and so Bitcoin a proxy for risk, right? Gold all-time highs, right? Bitcoin down. So speculative plays, if you will, are there's not a lot of, I would say, what's the word I'm trying to use here? Somebody help me out. Not a lot of oh my God, why can't I even think of a word here? Not a lot of enticement, okay? People don't want to really risk, right? Risk off. People are kind of holding their cards tight, if you will, right? So do that uncertainty. So with most sectors, while I'm here real quick, I get the XLK, XLF all the way down to XLU, right? And so all the utilities. So right now, most of these sectors are slightly red. Okay, tech taking a little bit more of a lead down here. Okay, as well, down 0.6, the hard right edge here on the extended hours here. Okay, tech down. That's super important. Tech's a very heavily weighted sector. Discretionary XLY. Okay, down. That's probably due to Tesla getting smoked. Okay, and then the real estate and energy and builders and utilities are a bit more stronger. But these are very small weighted sectors. I weighted this by the sector weight. So XLK being the biggest weight in the S&P, and then the utilities XLU being the lower weight. So if utilities and builders and energy and real estate are the strongest, okay, great. They make up the smallest pie. They make up the smallest slice of the pie, I should say, inside of the S&P. So we'll see. So we're going to keep an eye on the overall market today. Along with the FANG Magnificent Seven. What do you think about hold on, what was that price again on YM? You type that price back in and I can help you out a little bit there. All right, as that person is doing, I can move on here because I missed the price point on the YM. I can help you out if you retype that back in so I can look at it there. 56.80, 56.25. Be careful with that. Okay. Momentum seems like China wants to pick back down. NASDAQ breaking down a little bit too as well. NASDAQ down about 0.7%. Globex high. 41,884. Let me take a peek for you there real quick. $41. $844. So you're looking at this demand zone here, give or take. Yeah, I'd say it's everything that I mentioned, the S&P and NASDAQ, or S&P, haven't quite got to NASDAQ yet. This would be fairly similar to what I was saying there. So I see what you're saying here. You're looking at that demand zone right there. Kind of obvious demand zone there, indeed. For 41,844. Yeah, so you're looking down in here, this demand zone right there. You know, it's not bad, right? That would be a Globex trap. It qualifies as a Globex trap. I see what you are seeing indeed. And I'd say, yeah, I mean, it's a level. There's a level on level. I wouldn't be surprised if we did pick up some liquidity. There could be a bit of a liquidity sweep right here as well. In addition to that, at 41, right below 41,600. 41,600, there could potentially be a bit of a liquidity sweep right below there. So indeed, yes, I mean, it's decent. I'd probably scale into this, and I would. That's a very obvious level, nice little pop there. You can't say there's no demand right there. I mean, that's a nice little pop. Don't get me wrong. Kind of super obvious. So you might even want to just work maybe a little bit lower. And right now this market's a little heavy pre-market, I will say. All right, and I would look out for a liquidity sweep right here, right below that 41,600, and where, you know, right below that even number, there's probably some stop losses built up right there in addition to as well. Heck, you might even be having your stop loss right down in here if you're looking at 41,844. Okay, so just be careful with this, and I would even say you can even maybe look at a potential playbook setup here where you enter long here on a liquidity sweep. Does that make sense? You know, I talk about liquidity sweeps. I'm not sure if you're an official Phantom member or not, but we talk about liquidity sweeps, so on and so forth. We have due time, but I wouldn't be surprised. You could pin that 41,000, 41,005. I'd say 95. You know, 5 points below, give or take, that even number there, right here where people get stopped out. Okay, I would even say 41,580, maybe about 20 points, give or take, below there. Okay. So yeah, not bad there, but just be careful with it, right? Because remember, you know, it's a demand zone indeed, right? But we still have some heavy momentum, to the downside here, right? We had a couple 2-day bounce here, okay, for the past 2 days, but you know, still being very, cautious, right? Kind of like a sleep with one eye open type deal as an analogy. All right, so hopefully that helped. Globex low on NASDAQ here, Globex high. All right, and then we got the level of demand below Globex low. Now NASDAQ, we have to be careful with NASDAQ. It's been a little more weaker, right? Really which is a little scary here. There's really nothing down and left as high quality for markets to really support this. So be careful with this, right? So just be careful right now, right? Other than, we got this demand zone here. We do have this demand zone right here, right below the Globex low. If I put a price on it, 19,780, 19,780 could be an aggressive G trap. G trap long. All right, 19,780. All right, that was a previous daily swing high that got taken out yesterday. Kind of already pulled back into it here when we had a new higher high. Okay, that was a little late day squeeze that I was mentioning there. Caught that at SPX. All right, took options from like 60 cents and took them up to like what, $6. Left a runner on. They went up to 8. Then I had a stop out break even in my runner, but all good. Just one contract on my runner, but surprised by that working out. That was pretty cool. But the 19,780, yes, we get some demand down there. Again, Globex trap, and then we get the liquidity sweep potentiality down here as well, similar to everything that I just said in the Dow Jones. All right, G-Chap short. Have that eye on that 20,250. Yes, indeed. Okay. And then we got the 20,425. So 20,250, 20,425. Okay. These are levels that, if long, TP some. If anybody at Phantoms here is long those Qs that we got into down here last week, and we got a nice little bounce off of that. Okay, if we do continue to make an equal to or higher high, we get up to that 20,250 and 20,425. Definitely recommend to take some profit on that. Okay. All right, Nasdaq down about 0.6%. Again, we're just kind of basing here. We are at this level of demand right here, but if for bulls, you'd want to see this kind of hold, okay, and maybe have a flush down and come back, okay. But if we start to absorb this demand and these demands down here, look out below, because there's really nothing here to really stop. There's not high quality level demand to stop price, okay. And this little this little up move here could easily be violated, and we could be potentially revisiting a new equal to or even potential lower low, okay. So hopefully that helps. Gold, I mean, come on, man. I mean, if you've just traded gold, you've been doing beautifully, right? Gold all time high. Nothing to really say here other than not just be careful. Don't get too euphoric here. Okay. Finally broke that 3,000 handle, right? All time high in gold, monthly, weekly, daily. It's up there. It's in the stratosphere here, right? So I would just say, just be careful. Don't chase too much. Don't get too euphoric here, because pullback imminent as always. Markets healthy need pullbacks, right? So just continue to stick to the process. We got Phantoms members. I had a stupidest trade in my career, literally on a GLD put that I was kind of just doing as a thesis, and but I shouldn't be doing that with people, right? Maybe with my own money, but so I took a loss on a GLD put, as I deserve to. Okay. But I've been, I'm swing trading long gold futures. Okay, almost time to roll these out into another contract. So, we'll talk a little bit about that later. But Globex trap high. I'm sorry, Globex high, Globex low. There's no supply to the left, so be careful. You be careful shorting it. Yes, it could mean reversions, but there's nothing to the left to lean against. So just as we've been mentioning with Phantoms for quite some time, just wait for pullbacks on gold and get long. Okay. Emphasis on this 29.50 handle. The all-time high was 29.63 in gold futures. I'm sorry, I digress. I'm wrong on that. Let me update this. All-time high at one point before this breakout was 29.75. 29.75. There you go. That's better. And so, if this would be, if we did have this is a 1 hour time frame, by the way, 1 hour time frame of gold futures. 1 hour time frame of gold futures. Apologize for that. What am I looking at, right? If we pull back, okay, if we break the Globex low, now, this might not happen today, this might not happen tomorrow, this might even happen this week, we'll see. But that 29,075 right there, that would be a retest of the previous all-time high. So we broke, and we could potentially be retesting at some point, right? Right below there, we have a nice level of demand, right? 29.50 handle. So key takeaway here, 29.75, 29.50. That would be a deeper pullback in the event. That would be awesome to really pick up some more, not only like maybe a day trade, but even some swings. Okay, maybe a little longer term, swing trade engagement. Okay, now for aggressive traders, of course, we have levels of demand that potentially, here's VWAP, that white dash line right there. And I'm sure some folks are looking at this level here, respectfully so. Call it the 3021 area here, excuse me. And let me see here. So that comes in at, 3020s, 3020 handle gold futures. If anybody is short, which is insane, you would take profit here, and this could potentially, this is just straight up just a demand zone here. to just engage long. Nothing else to say about it. All right, 30-20. All right, that white dash line there is VWAP as mentioned. Okay, right now if we get a VWAP rebalance, maybe off the open. Why is it not letting me duplicate the line? Annoying. Think or swim is so tedious. Sometimes we got 30, 26. Could also be a nice little hit point here for engagement. 26, okay? VIX, where's the VIX at? Somebody was mentioning the VVIX yesterday. Awesome. Love to see it. So gold is clean in house here. But one good thing I did do with GLD is it's one of the ETFs GLD that I just religiously sell puts on. So, which is bullish in gold futures. Never shorted them. All right, moving on, VIX. All right, weekly on left, daily on right, just to give you the time frames here. VIX is slightly up today, not slightly up, 4.7%. Not too, that's something. Okay, nothing too crazy, but VIX came down off that 29.30 handle high for now. Okay, so in short, there's a lot more to this. Okay, if you're for vol guys out there, will know volatility guys and girls, traders. Just to keep it simple for right now, we got 11 minutes before market open. VIX down, market up, VIX up, market down. Not as simple as that. However, it's a good little simple gauge to understand kind of what's going on in terms of volatility, right? And the relationship, okay, inverse correlation of the price action, right? So as we just did in the indexes, we're going to map out the overnight high and the overnight low in VIX as well, represented by these white lines here. All right, just a smaller time frame here, 2 minutes, and I just kind of map out where we are last time I looked at it, and then I map out the low and just some ellipses here. So, like for example, yesterday, while markets were, just using yesterday as an example, okay, VIX was down, right? VIX was down, it's kind of fairly smooth all day yesterday, right? So even though the morning was kind of a little choppy there, right? VIX was holding down and FANG was holding the market down. Everything else was up as mentioned, and then markets kind of popped late day, and the VIX let you know a little bit about how that market could potentially have the opportunity to potentially pop with the VIX being down. So far, this VIX is up today, so we would want to see if this thing continues to the upside. If that does continue to the upside, again, as mentioned, everything else being equal, we could potentially have a little bit of a down move. Okay, today. Okay, SPYs. Yesterday's close here, daily time frame, gap down today, inside gap. You see that Mickey Mouse hand right there. Okay, 564.74 pre-market quote, just gapping down kind of midway through yesterday's range. All right, inside gap, we'll see. That's going to provide an unfilled gap up here, so you can map that out when that opens. Right now, hold on, where are we gapping? We're down about what 0.4%. That means SPX, give or take. I can just check the other way, but I can just do it here real quick while I'm here. SPX probably opening up about at or around 56.50 ish. All right, noteworthy. So 56.50. So right on that JP Morgan collar. Where did I delete my note? All right, so perfect. I'll be probably looking at the 5,700 call, 5,600 put. bullish and bearishness. For just to take a peek at it, what delta is it at now? Now I already did a couple of SPX prep stuff. You know, I'm not trying to hide it, but it's just it's only so much that I can cover within so less time before market open. All right, so we got 5,600 big OI there. We got right now about a 14 delta. That's going to change. That's going to increase. And then we got 50. This is an options chain SPX. Today's expiration 57 3,000. Okay, there 23 delta. That's going to change a little bit there. All right, just kind of pinning these. I mean, literally, I'm thinking about, and I'm kind of nervous saying this publicly, but not really, but I'm literally trying to put together, when I got some time and using AI to help me, but put together a whole kind of like SPX kind of course, if you will. All right, but I digress on that right now. Qs on how I trade SPX, asymmetric risk, convexity. But for my phantoms, we got to do a, oh, by the way, for next week, put a pin in the, or put a pencil in on the 26th, next Wednesday, March 26th. I'm going to do a bonus session with y'all regarding the second order Greeks, Vana and Charm, and we're going to go over Gex as well. I did not like part 2 of Gex that I did last time. We did, what, we did 2 parts on Gex. The second one, the second one was not as great. It was great. It was decent towards the end where I was going over Gex spot, but next Wednesday, pencil in your day there. I'd say let's pull it all day, and then after we're done with the live trade room in the morning, let's hop in another room and let's go over Gex. I'd say maybe part 3 or kind of 2.1, right? And so that's also going to help with kind of what I look to do in the SPX in addition to everything that I mentioned. Okay, back to business here. QQQ's close here, gap down here, 480, right, is the pre-market quote. So that is a little bit of a pain gap. So anybody bullish, right, and I'm long some Qs, right? I got some Qs down from down here. All right, I got some Q, yes sir, Ethan, my man, Mr. Gold, crushing gold in a good way. The gap. I am the best, and I don't know what the handle. Your kid has a sense of humor. I like it. Let's see, gap down. So a little bit of a pain gap here for longs, right? A little bit of a pain gap here for longs. So we'll see how markets digest this gap here. All right, gold just on fire, GLD, right? Gap up. Apple coming down to some levels on Monday. We kind of go over the higher time frames. We did some work on this yesterday, right? Apple slight gap down. We've been inside bar Friday and yesterday being Monday. Inside bar since Thursday. Thursday's high, Thursday's low. We've been inside that. So just be careful with Apple. For day trading, it could inside bar, right? So we'll see how that pans out. Okay, we are pretty decent low, okay, but these markets could come a little bit more lower, as mentioned yesterday with the team in the live trade room, right? So we already kind of talked a little bit about that, right? We get some levels prepped lower in the event this market wants to make another segment new low. All right, Amazon gap down as well. Same thing. In addition to, I got my eye on these 186 here. I got last week's low 190 down in here. Close here yesterday, gap down pre-market 193. So this is an outside gap here. All right, consumer discretionary XLY has been more of the weaker sector. Okay, and that has a lot to do with Amazon and Tesla. And Amazon and Tesla is more of the weaker of the FANG stocks. Somewhat Amazon, I would say, not so much. Tesla, definitely yes. Okay, but yeah, outside gap on Amazon. All right, a little more bearish off the open. We'll see. AVGO kind of getting kind of choppy here. Daily time frame. We've been on an inside week on AVGO, came down into decent little level here on the weekly from a retest. So, you know, again, it could come lower as mentioned, right? We'll see basing, gap down today, not an inside gap, you know, a little bit of a pain gap, but nothing too crazy, but definitely kind of range, right? So I'd be careful with that. You know, AVGO, I kind of haven't day traded it for a little while, but I'm kind of working on it for more, you know, longer term setups in 160s down here. I got my eye on, okay, down into these December and November lows, okay, on the monthly time frame, okay, orange. So that ellipse down here, kind of call it the 160 handle, okay. Google, for the record, I am engaged in Google bullish already, right? Got the monthly demand over here to the left. All right, slight gap down today. Been kind of rangy as of late. Got the fights, bulls and bears are fighting it out here. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a bit more lower. Okay. Also got my eye on the 152. Okay. I got some stock on this. You know, I got a small little call on this too as well. That, you know, small risk on it, small size. We'll see, but it's probably going to be wrong. All right, but I'm working on. You know, I'm being diligent here, I should say. I'm being diligent here, kind of easing my potential way in on these stocks with this bigger correctional move that we have on these indexes and individual stocks. Right, 150 would be amazing on Google. All right, but we're not there yet. Of course, that would be that level lower down in here. All right, we still got this 160 handle to maneuver through or hold. For the macro picture. Tesla, I don't know if anybody's still in those calls, but I just dumped them. All right, when we got into them up here, they worked out, and then, you know, I just ended up dumping them. All right, theta decay is becoming an issue now on them anyways as well. We've been inside day from that Monday move on the 10th. We've been inside day for the most part since then. Tesla outside gap. Tesla's one of the weaker ones here. Okay, now we're still inside this bar, but again, if you want to attack weakness, Tesla's going to be the one. Okay, and of course, as always, my phantoms will know that when the market opens, you want to make sure that you see how the intraday tape plays out. Okay, that's one to potentially be a little more bearish on, just due to the weakness of it overall, relative weakness. Microsoft here, interesting. Kind of waiting for this Microsoft 360 handle to kind of develop down here. All right, not there yet. Again, a little bounce rally here with the markets overall. Still downward pressure, right? Same thesis. All right, hasn't really broken anything yet, right? Slight gap down. Microsoft's holding a little bit of relative strength, but overall, it's very rangy. It's been rangy for quite some time, but, you know, range is not that bad, right? Wide range here on the monthlies. So I was open Meta. Got my eye on the 550 as mentioned with the team yesterday. We have a gap down here today, so you can see FANG is pretty negative here on the gap down. All right, so bearishness definitely on the table here. Let me just get a quick peek at the internals, just really quickly. Vol-D down. Advanced declines negative 600 below that zero line there. Not extreme, but definitely down. So opposite of yesterday. All right, opening price SPX 56.50. Easy. All right, so it tells the gap down. Bought up a bit there. Hold on, where's Apple? Apple's holding bids a bit there. Meta week off open. Meta fairly weak off open here. Still inside bar though from a couple days ago, so. Apple holding the bid for right now off open, but sketchy. JP Morgan banks came into an interesting level. XLF. All right, if Apple gives away its bids, that might not be too great. All right, SPX, got the 30-minute time frame now on the left. Let me drop this down to a tube real quick for this. Just pull a VWAP. Be patient, y'all. We got a gap down, but just be patient now. Indexes, this is SPX 30-minute time frame. We did gap down into a level. Y'all see this little demand level right here? Not the greatest in the world, but yesterday's late day kind of rally squeeze here. That's what we gapped down into. Y'all see that? Okay, so we could have a little bit more of a, then we have an unfilled gap here. So just be patient. And attack appropriately this market change. So you gotta make sure that you have an official setup. Don't be emotional on this, on anything here. So there's an unfilled gap here. I'm not gonna waste time on that and write that out. All right, so we could potentially be absorbing this here, this demand. All right, off the open, we have this. So we might have a quick little sneaky opportunity here to snag a quick little long put. All right, short S&P futures. So I got SPX, what was I looking at? The 56, we just dumped a little bit there on that. 5,600. Or 22 delta, if I go 55, 70. Apple's giving up its bids, so I'm gonna get long this put here, 55, 70. $5,570 long put SPX. All right, it's got filled at 265. Grab this in my other account too. long put. All right, so I got long put here. All right, 265, they're going for 320. We can already sell some out here. All right, let's put a limit order in 330. All right, that just got hit, TP. All right, put a stop loss on this at 160. All right, we're approaching yesterday's low, so we want to take some profit on this too. I'll put a target area here at, see if we can flush out here. Put a target order here at $4 on this. All right. So I bought this. This is the this is the put premium. So I bought this put here, right? 265. All right, I already TP'd some. At 320. Next target, $4 on premium. We are approaching yesterday's low. We haven't broke it yet. You could TP some here as well. All right. My other account, I'm gonna leave some on a bit here. All right, quick little scalp. Tesla, anybody snag some Tesla puts? Here we go, we got new low, TP. All right. TP. If you're short S&Ps, take profit. All right, that premium at 265, they're going for 370 right now. Markets are heavy. All right, SPX just swiped yesterday's low, so TP some here. Nice. All right, premium's going for 413-ish. $4. How y'all doing, YouTube? Y'all doing go okay? I'm SPX biased. All right, TP some here, okay, folks? Yesterday's low, right? Because we could get a little bit of a bounce off of just off yesterday's low, right? You trap some traders down here chasing. All right. All right. How was that open for y'all? Y'all good? I know y'all concentrating, right? Y'all don't want to type shit in. I get it. Me either. Oh, did I say a swear? Banned. Cancel. Algorithm police. Blessing. Nice little open. It's only been 12 minutes. Nice little open. I mean, anything that you pretty much did, you know, you can't really pound your chest is gap down, fall through in the first 15 minutes. So, I mean, even Bob the Baker's making some money today, right now, off this open. AVGO creeping. For bullish exposure, Apple's holding bits. Yeah, so you get the potential correctional move. So you would want a 250 premium. That's okay. You'd be banking on the fact that. So, Blessing, one thing that I would maybe suggest and recommend, it's good that you're charting the premium, which is a beautiful thing. You'd get better entries. You get more of a chance of a fill, which you probably just got filled or soon to be on the premium. And you're banking on the fact that will remain below VWAP, which is great. You can condition it to a certain price point on the SPX as well, and you get a little bit better fill price that way. And you know I do that in the live trade room, but yeah, that's good there. We actually have a potential another. Oh man, let me get my girl Blessing in. Missed you. All right, I'm gonna TP some here. All right, nice. Dumping out a bit. All right, these options are up 100%. Let me lock some in here. There we go. Yeah, so if you make sure you TP some. Good position here. Nice open. Nice follow through. Done for the day. Size Lord on SPX. Futures are coming into coming into a level, right? Now remember, this is aggressive. I'm going to treat this as a buy to cover, which I am on the SPX, right? Because I'm short SPX, so I'm treating this as a buy to cover. We could see if we can get a little bounce out of here. I mean, this is heavy right now. Markets are heavy. VIX up. Cumulative take holding below that zero line. So I gotta go, y'all, because today seems like it's gonna be fun. All right, I wish I could hang out with y'all on YouTube all day, but That's reserved for Phantoms members only. All right, and I want to concentrate 100%. So hopefully y'all had a good open. It was easy, so you know, no shouting here. Damn, I wish my girl Blessing got in here. Missed it by 10 cents. She would have had like one of the quickest 100% gains probably I don't want to say in your career, but probably could have. All right, if you want to learn a little bit more about that or this, if you're new to the channel, get some Phantoms members in here. But if you want to check it out, cool, TradePhantoms.com, right? TradePhantoms.com, here's the website, click register there. And Thursday, March 20th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, put your name, email, pretty normal, 2 days from now, right? You click register, you get sent a link, all that kind of good stuff, right? Standard business here, right? Here's what you'll learn in the agenda. Okay, y'all can read that, hosted by Mr. Black, I believe is doing it this week here, or Mr. Green will be doing it as well. Two amazing guys, two amazing traders. Here's the agenda, right? Everything stocks, futures, forex, options, all the way to short-term trading, income, day trade here, which you just saw me do. And then also working on the long-term investment as well, where I gave out a couple of levels there on the higher time frames and the monthlies that I'm looking for that. Seems like this market might want to, it's not done yet, as I mentioned to the group. So you might just want to protect yourself and, you know, kind of like take it day by day a little bit here now, right? Because this market is, I hate to keep saying it, but uncertain, yes, okay, but trade safe, y'all. All right. Expect a little bit of a bounce coming out of here, just a little baby bounce, and we can work on that. We can continue to work on it, right? If you're trained, you know what you're doing with Phantoms, and hopefully y'all had a good little morning open. You know, fairly easy. So just Google going, huh? Google's fairly easy. So just make sure, be patient, be disciplined. Make sure you don't give back your profits. That's a nice little open there, right? All right, folks, I gotta go. I got some stuff to do. We got. This is some tape. All right. God bless. Take care. Blew out.